Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Longing, Day 49. In the last episode, we finished the Tao Te Ching. I know that you can pronounce it differently. I don't know if I mentioned that in those videos, but yes, I know that there's like a million ways to pronounce it. But whatever. In the days since I did that, I have finished reading what is currently out of Tales Gets Trolled, the webcomic, the fantastic webcomic by Lazerbot. I really enjoyed it. Um, I wanted to talk about it, talk a bit about it, and things about it. Let's see, what can I say about it? It's fucking crazy. It's got a surprisingly good like art at times in that the way that Lazerbot can suggest motion is surprisingly good at times. Other times it's horrible, and you wonder why the fuck would he do this? Why would he put all of these like completely literally like MS Paint black characters onto the same color black background, and like you can't see it. It's not like, well, why would you do that? So Lasermont makes some very odd decisions. As if you couldn't tell by the fact that he's making this giant webcomic about this stupid shit. But if I haven't mentioned it already, what Tales Gets Trolled is it's this a webcomic by some weirdo who's, maybe I shouldn't say some weirdo, but fuck him, why not? He's gonna be able to take it, I'm sure. Um, who It's about all of these copyrighted characters from video games and other fiction, like Nickelodeon TV shows and things like that, who are all part of this weird world where the main threat introduced in the beginning is the trolls, and the trolls are like basically internet trolls, but in the real world, who are just being a dick to everybody. And so the main characters, which are mostly Sonic from the Sonic universe, all go out and start killing trolls. And things escalate and escalate and escalate until it's this incredible anime complicated shonen plot, and it's fantastic. Um I think one thing I can say is that I, I think it gets to a certain point where Laserbot feels the need to call out every single person who has criticized his work by making some aspect of the comic where he will then, like, if for instance someone says like this comic is just Dragon Ball Z, it's just a Dragon Ball Z ripoff, he feels the need to make jokes about how stupid people are for thinking that his comic is like Dragon Ball Z. And so that gets a little bit more prevalent as the comic goes on, and that I found was a little bit but overall, I'm very happy that this comic exists. Uh, and I wanted to talk about some meaningful meaning. What can be gained from philosophically? What can we see here? What is Laserbot trying to tell us? What is And the answer is, I don't think he's trying to tell us fucking shit at all. But what can we get out of it anyway? I think if you really were to read Tales Gets Trolled, I think you'll notice that it's whatever themes and ideas in Tales Gets Trolled that Laserbot is trying to play with are completely transient at best. He'll talk about one thing, and then he'll have something that kind of completely goes against it again. Oh, like that Zarathustra, my today refuted my yesterday. But so you get things where it'll look like he thinks weed is stupid, and then later he's like weed's awesome, and then he's stupid again. And then other times you get stuff like people who troll other people are horrible pieces of shit who should be murdered, and then later on it's like people who get upset at trolls are just snowflakes and stuff. It's like that's the kind of feelings and themes that get played with and thrown back and forth and are just like it doesn't appear that he's doing it on purpose for that part. There are some things that it appears like he might be doing on purpose and is self-aware about, but when it comes to a lot of his themes, it seems like he's really pinballing around with how he feels about subjects, which I understand. It's just interesting to see that in a webcomic where it feels like it's so disjointed. It's just kind of funny. But I was thinking about, as I was reading his filler arc, he made a filler arc which is, I don't think, is actually like, it doesn't make sense what a filler arc is in a webcomic, because when you actually go to read the webcomic, you have to go looking for the filler because it's separate. So it doesn't make sense as an actual, like, it's completely for the joke and for in name only is this a filler arc. And the filler arc is about some of the trolls. And the trolls, to be specific, in Tales Gets Trolled, are almost all they're not copyrighted characters for the most part. They're almost all anime-esque OC original characters that Lazerbot has made up, as far as we can tell, and they're all, yeah, like humans for the most part. And he made the filler arc about two of those trolls who are just going through their daily lives in Troll City, and they're like joining troll competitions. There's a trolling competition tournament arc that has not been finished yet, and for the record, none of Tales Gets Trolled has been finished. Apparently it's only like a quarter of the way done according to the guy who made it, and he's been making it for like 10 years now. This is a 40-year long project in his life of Tales Gets Trolled. I love it so much. But I want to just get a little bit into that when I was thinking about how there's this entire city, Troll City, of people, just pretty much regular people, because the lore is that Troll King took over a city and made it his city. And so the people there, it's not like they're monsters or they're innately evil or anything. They're just people who have grown up in this troll city where the culture of trolling has been thrust upon them. So you you get this weird sort of intentionally or not, this sort of commentary about like a toxic society, of like a toxic culture, and like what does this do to people. And when you mix that in with also Lazerbot's feelings of where he'll have a character look into the camera and will say, like, after, like, there was something where something along the line of some character said, you can't be, don't say mean things about gay people, you can't do that anymore, and then a character looks into the camera looking at the viewer and goes, everything's okay now. And it's like, what are you saying, Lazerbot? But I kind of get it on a certain level of like, it seems like he's playing with this idea of, on one hand, the toxic society and how problematic and sad it is for people to grow up in a society and a culture where toxicity is the norm. And on the other hand, he's playing with this idea of like talking about how like we're entering this age where everything needs to be a safe space, and if things aren't like a perfect safe space and people say anything mean to you, then people come after you and try and kill you. And that's exactly what the comic is all about. The whole comic is about the main characters getting butthurt. They got trolled and people called them gay. And then they go out and they're like, we have to kill all the trolls now. So it's this weird dichotomy of ideas going on here. And what Lazerbot is saying, what is he saying to us? What is Lazerbot trying to tell us through his art? Is on one hand ridiculous and it's making me laugh, and on the other hand, I kind of do feel something with it. Was there's, for instance, in the main comic, there is, I forget exactly all the details between this because I was kind of skimming over it a little bit, but there was this part where there is a group of trolls that I think they were called the Neighborhood Watch. And I forget what they're trying to do, but I guess they were, it was part of a battle scene sort of told from the perspective of a group of trolls trying to like get in on it or something, and they don't, and there's like this monk troll in the Neighborhood Watch who sort of, he abandons them, and he's like, you guys don't understand what this place is doing to you. Maybe one day you'll understand, but I need to go walk the earth, and I'm going to become a new man, somewhere far away from Troll City. This is not the lifestyle that is good for a human being. And all the other trolls are like, whoa, man, I don't understand. But what is he a traitor? Is he should we like do similar? What, I don't know. Like he meant something to us, and it's like that. What a commentary there. Like the idea of escaping a toxic society to go be on your own and find some sort of enlightenment by yourself. The That's wow. And then it's told in this completely ridiculous, stupid way. Um, and then another thing from the filler arc was, as the main two trolls of the filler arc are walking around and they're entering troll competitions and stuff. There's a guy who is the gatekeeper to the tournament, and they keep, whenever they go up to the gatekeeper, they're being an asshole, regular troll to him, calling him like gay and stuff, and insulting him, and all, like, which is a completely normal thing in troll society. And then suddenly, in one of these pages of the filler, that troll that is the gatekeeper troll to the tournament starts going on about how he's starting to like mentally fall apart due to all of the trolling over the years, and he commits suicide. And the two trolls that we're focused on are like, oh my god, I didn't know our trolling could do that. Have we been hurting people this whole time? Because to them, this is just the normal thing, because this is what they're used to. And then they're suddenly confronted by the reality that there are some people who, like, it starts to eat away at their mentality, and so they certainly can be hurting people like this. In the end, though, these two trolls blame everything on something else. They blame that troll's suicide on specifically cats, and say cats are evil. And the specifics don't matter. If you read it, you'll be like, dude, what, you didn't mention this. But they are doing something that happens in real life, where when someone is confronted by, have I been doing something wrong, a lot of times, instead of fully confronting the fact that you may have been doing something wrong, people instead will find something to blame, so they can say, no, it couldn't have been me, it was this other thing. This other thing sucks, and they scapegoat it. You see that all the time in society, and that's what happened with these two trolls. They blame the suicide of that troll. It's not our culture. It's not the fact that we troll people. Like, that guy killed himself because of cats, and cats are the ultimate evil. And that was kind of poignant to me, in all of that. And I was also, maybe one last thing I'll try and mention in that whole idea of Troll City and toxic culture, but like, I liked the scene where those two trolls, they're walking through Troll City, and they walk up to a a merchant stall where he's selling merchandise, and they know this guy, and their small talk with this guy consists of like calling each other assholes, calling the guy's wife a bitch, and all sorts of stuff. And like, and they're just really friendly about it. Like this is just the norm for like like talking about the weather and stuff. Like to them, it's not a big deal, and it's kind of enjoyable to them because this is just sort of the culture. And so when you look at it from these perspectives, it's like it's a really interesting thing, and I I I see these dichotomies, and for the record, what dichotomy means, I think that means like two opposing ideas, or sort of this yin yang sort of thing. Or not really yin yang, because yin yang implies that there is a like one side that's good and one side that's like bad, sort of, or one side, but like I don't really know. And I think it's obvious to say, I should make sure I say this. It's obvious to say that we don't want a society as toxic as Troll City. Um, but on the other hand, um, could look again and say like, how bad is it really? Because like, take a step back and think like, if you're warring up against what you see as a toxic society, you're probably on some level right, but also realize that the people you see as toxic, like to them, that's like breathing. It's like the fish doesn't know the water that it's in, and it might not necessarily be bad to them. Um, it's it's a weird situation, and don't find yourself being a troll slayer who is just going out trying to kill everyone because you're not comfortable with them calling people gay. So you have to kill them like in Tails Gets Trolled. There's gotta be another way. There's gotta be another way. Um so yeah, I fully recommend Tails Gets Trolled. Um and you try looking through it. Look at the Tales Gets through this lens of a toxic society, and ask yourself these hard-hitting questions. What does it mean to be part of a toxic society, and what is the right thing to do here? Um, and yeah, I don't know, but it's pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. So without further ado, I think I will end this episode, and I'll talk to you next time. Later, everybody. Later.